Hi, I'm Tinthia Clemant, and I'm here as a guest blogger on the Indigo Quill. It's part of my blog tour, and I am traveling around virtually to promote my debut novel, The Summer of Anna, A Midsummer's Wish, my contemporary women's fiction novel. I have to get all 4 words in, which has romance to it. It is a romance novel. It's kind of a mixed bag. I have readers who ask me, well, what's the difference between women's fiction and romance? And I've actually blogged about this on my website, tinthiaclement.com, but I'll mention it here. Women's fiction doesn't have to have romance to it. It can just be about a woman's journey. It could be about a single mother escaping her abusive husband, taking her child and moving to a town, changing her identity, trying to get on with her life, going through a growth. It can have a little bit of romance. You can throw a sheriff in there who they fall in love. But if you made the romance part of the book the main focus, then it becomes a romance novel. It's really screwy. There's so many subgenres of the romance genre that I'm baffled. But it's important to know where my book fits in because I have to put that into Amazon and the search engines. I have to use it as tags so people can find me. I don't know what women search for. When I do a query to find out what women are searching for, they typically just search for romance. I don't know. What do you search for when you're looking for a new book? Gone Girl. That was women's fiction suspense. Yeah, murder. I don't know. Girl on a Train. Women's fiction, suspense. Didn't really have romance, but it's still women's fiction. Eat, Pray, Love. Women's fiction, nonfiction. Okay, it's Nora Roberts. She writes across the board. Debbie McComber, she writes women's fiction, but she always throws in a romantic twist to it. So if the romance takes center stage, then you're dealing with romance. Oh, if the romance is a side story, then you're dealing with, and the woman goes through some type of journey on her own, you're dealing with women's fiction. I think. I really don't know, and I suppose I should. And so I guess this vlog, which it's called a VLOG, there's another word to learn, could be about learning what genre I'm in. I wanted to write. I wanted to tell stories. That's what I wanted to do. I've always written. My whole life I have written stories. I have told stories. I used to, when I taught high school, if we had 5 minutes at the end of the class to keep my freshman students from going insane and lining up by the door for the bell to ring, I used to tell them stories. And they would say, Mrs. Dunn, that was my married name, will you tell us a story? And I would just make up stories for them. When my son was young and I would have birthday parties, I would do a storytelling session where I would weave magical stories for the kids. I love stories. I love going to movies and learning about stories. I love reading. I love reading stories. I don't read a lot of nonfiction. I read very little nonfiction. I love fiction. I love worlds being woven for me and entering them. And that was a blue jay. So what genre am I in? I guess I'm in the romance genre, and then I slide into one of the subgenres underneath it. But if I had to classify my book, it would be women's fiction with a romantic bend, and there's no class that has that title. Wow, did I digress? I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about in this vlog, but I guess I covered something. I could talk about my ideal place to write. I don't have an ideal place to write. I can write pretty much anywhere, but I have an ideal time. I typically get out of bed at 5 in the morning, and I write until 9. I have a blessed life. My vocation is I'm a teacher. I'm a professor, actually, and yeah, not really a full professor though. I teach part-time at the local community college. I teach science. I teach biology, I teach anatomy and physiology, I teach nutrition. I've taught chemistry, I've taught sports physiology, kinesiology, environmental science. If you have a science, I've either taught it or I will teach it. And I've been at this community college since 1982. Yeah, so that's what I do. And my life right now is designed that I get to stay home a lot. I only have to be on campus 2 days a week, and then I teach online courses. So I get to shuffle around my house in my jammies if I want, which I try not to do. But I do shuffle to the computer in my jammies in the morning to write. I'll have a few cups of coffee. And would you mind? Go ahead, make yourself a cup. I'll wait. There are my ducks. They're waiting to be fed. I'm doing this, and there's my dog. Welcome to my life. When the ducks quack, Stevie barks. He's blind. I adopted 2 years ago a blind Australian Shepherd. He was abandoned in Nashville, Tennessee. He was found in a dumpster in a plastic trash bag. When Australian Shepherds, from what I've been told and from what I understand from my research, is when Australian Shepherds are bred to get the 2 different eye colors. Sometimes you get, because of the genetics and the shuffling of those genes, biology teacher, sometimes you'll have a puppy born without any eyes at all. And I did know the name for this condition, but it's been 2 years and I have forgotten. So he's completely blind. He never had sight. He has no eyes whatsoever. He has one eyelid stays open and it's just a membrane, and the other eyelid is always closed, though he can open it. He's a great dog. He maneuvers well with his nose, but he barks when he smells something or if he hears something, and then the ducks quack. Or the ducks will quack and he'll bark. And a helicopter's going by. It's busy today on the Concord River. Oh, typically this is a very peaceful location. Don't usually have a lot of helicopters. So what else can I tell you about me? What would you like to know? What do you want to know about your favorite author? Am I your favorite author? If not, can I be? Do you have a spot for one little author? I really don't take up much room. So what would I want to know about my favorite author? Well, one of my favorite authors is Ray Bradbury. It has nothing to do with romance, but I love his writing, and my favorite book that he wrote is Dandelion Wine. But it did have a love story within the story. The book has so many stories inside that novel, and it's magical. My other favorite books, The Secret Garden. Oh, I love The Secret Garden. I absorb it at least every other year. I'll read it. Same with Dandelion Wine. I didn't read it this summer. I read it last summer, and I'll read it next summer. I tend to read it every other summer. I love the phrase where he writes about capturing summer in the bottles, the golden elixir in the bottles of the wine that's made from dandelions. It's just so cool. And my third favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird, and I love the movie as well. If I had to live on a desert island, I would take those 3 books, and I would have to have a video player so I could watch To Kill a Mockingbird. That means I'd have to have electricity, but we'll deal with that later. I would sneak. So if I were on a desert island and I could only take 3 books, I'd take To Kill a Mockingbird, Dandelion Wine, and The Secret Garden. I would sneak onto the desert island, How to Survive on a Desert Island for Dummies, but I wouldn't give up any of those other 3 books. So I would try to get that book on there. Maybe I'd hide it, attach it to my butt, and then the people that are dropping me on the desert island would think that I just have a big butt, which I do have a ample booty, but it just would be more ample, and it would have edges to it, so I'd have to figure that out. So I need that book, How to Survive on a Desert Island for Dummies. And I would take... Does it look like I just changed positions? Am I sitting differently? That's because I have a woodpecker who's drilling a hole in the side of my house. And I've already patched up one hole. I have a dead oak tree in my backyard. and it's huge. And he has so many spots that he could go and peck. I'm looking at the tree right now. But he chooses my house, and it's not rotted. It's good wood. I had this house dealt with when I bought it. It's an old house. It was built in 1935. But I don't know why he wants to peck on my house. And I'm just really getting annoyed. He's already done it once, and he created a really good hole, pulled out all the insulation, and he and the female were in there happily nesting. I patched it up, and now he's next to the patch. Somebody told me, hang silvery things on your house, and that will distract them and get them away from it. Yeah, he just pecks under the silvery things. I have silvery Christmas tinsel hanging, and my house looks like it's decorated for the holidays. And he just pecks underneath it. So this is my life. So maybe that's what this vlog was about. You got a glimpse into my life and my brain. I have ADD. I was one of those kids in grade school that was, put facing the corner because I got distracted a lot. And this is what happens in my head. I have things going on all the time, and then I forget, what was I doing? I need somebody coming behind me with a notebook, writing down and telling me, okay, you were doing this. Okay, so life rocks on. That's it. I have nothing else to give you today. I hope you follow me on my blog tour. I want to thank the Indigo Quill for letting me post this really crazy vlog. And I hope you'll find me on Facebook, Tinthia Clemant. And I hope you'll visit my website, tinthiaclement.com. You can sign up for my newsletter, which I have yet to create. I don't have a newsletter, but I'd love for you to sign up. I'd love for you to send questions. You can enter the questions on Facebook. Please like me on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I have a Pinterest page. I'm all over the virtual world. And that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching. I hope I've entertained you. And I hope you have a blessed day. Ciao.